everyone. This is Candid Convos with Authors. I am Jeanette, and today I have Liza Rowe with me. She is author of The Sober Poet, which is a book of poems, a collection of poems, from a recovered alcoholic. You can get it on Amazon now. So Liza, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, Jeanette.
You're welcome. And we're recording this April 1st. And did you know April is National Poetry Month?
I know. I just found out this morning, actually. I'm the worst poet ever.
I was scrolling Instagram while I was waiting for you to get on, and I follow a poet who posted about it. I'm like, this is a great opener for us.
Perfect.
What a great way to celebrate. So, Liza, your book came out February 22nd. How has it been doing since it's been out?
The first week was like, wow, I didn't know I knew this many people. Like, I didn't know that I would have this much support. And since that time, you and I have spoke about this before. It's kind of difficult. Like I'm it's all up to me, right? Like it's all on me to keep it going. And so now I'm kind of leaning more into not necessarily book sales and like advertising the book, but what can I do to get the book in front of large groups of people. So I called my high school this morning. Oh, excuse me, turn that off. I'm trying to set up a speaking engagement there, basically. So I'm trying to find like student bodies. I'm going to the college that we both graduated from, and I'm gonna speak there and read some poems there. And so yeah, I'm just trying to find different places where I can kind of spread the message of the book and share my experience at this point.
That's amazing. And I saw on your Instagram, you had something that you're hosting something soon, or it might have already happened.
Oh yeah. I host an open mic night at this sober club in Annapolis. It's called Club 164. And I host the open mic night there. It's on the last Friday of every month. And there's been 3 of those now.
You host them every time. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. That is so great. And that definitely obviously fits your niche of the sober poet. So some sales that way too. Well, that is wonderful. I always love hearing how authors get creative. One, they have to be creative with writing, but how do they get creative after the book is finished? And how do you market your book and yourself so that your book's lifetime carries on, hopefully after you're gone?
Yeah.
It's kind of morbid to think about, but I always like to think like I have a book out there. So hopefully once I die, at least my book, a piece of me will still carry on in my name. And that might be a little dark to think about.
I think it's cool though. Like we will live on forever in the form of text. Like,
yes. Yeah, our words will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So are you reading any good books right now?
Right now I'm reading a book called The Actor. Okay. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz, who also wrote The 4 Agreements. I found that those books, like, they speak to me. I like them a lot. I've gotten a lot out of them. They've been like practical and helpful. So stuff I can actually apply. But The Actor is all about how we're like basically acting in this show and we are the star role, but we get to choose how we act. It's not all up to this like pre-coding and like pre-programming of what we grew up to know. We get to change the story if we want to and stuff like that. So
interesting. Main character energy. I like it. Awesome. Well, so your book is poems. Is poetry your main style of writing across the board?
I would say so. Yeah, it's just the easiest for me. Honestly, it's very low commitment because when I write, like it's not really long and like, it's not long-winded. It's short little blurbs usually, and oftentimes I don't even go back and edit things. I'll just put it out there, stream of consciousness, and sometimes it rhymes, sometimes it doesn't, but I found that the poetry is the easiest way for me to write, but I have been exploring writing like short stories and things along those lines. So I'd like to take a class eventually in some other form of writing. I'm not sure what though.
Yeah, endless opportunities there. But I do find when I read poetry, I think words are most resonating to me through poetry. And it's usually simple. It's like 3 words or something.
Yeah.
It hits me like a wall. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like reevaluate my whole life now. But yes. And I came across those moments plenty of times in your book, by the way. Just
Awesome.
floored me multiple times. So I hopefully you continue poetry forever because I love it. Do
Thank
you
you.
consider The Sober Poet a memoir?
Yeah. Yeah, on Amazon, I added that as one of the categories or like one of the keywords, because yeah, it kind of tells a story, and I did it on purpose that way, like organized the poems to start with. I think the first poem in there is kind of like what I consider to be a summary of the whole book. Maybe like the first 2 poems in there, just a summary of experience, and then it goes into like the despair and like the lack of hope, the lack of love, and then it kind of grows into this gratitude practice and making amends in my life, and living life with a grateful heart, basically, like just kind of transitions through that whole thing. So yeah, definitely memoir-esque.
Yeah, and I felt that reading, just the darkness and then this phase of transition, gray, I guess if we call it,
Hmm.
put a color to it, and then just this enlightenment period and this unapologetic outlook toward where you're going
Hmm.
and where have you been. So yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a memoir, and I've actually been listening to some authors speak on people who write memoirs, and so I was interested in asking you that question because I was like, I wonder if she considers this
Oh,
a memoir herself.
yeah.
So are there any poets or writers? And then I kind of added a multiple ended question here. So are there any poets or writers that you fashion your own words after, that you admire and or that you look up to? I know that's a loaded question.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, most of them aren't famous. Most of them are like I had somebody reference Emily Dickinson recently, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've read any of her work. Like, she's like a famous poet. Like, I should know these things, but I really don't. Like, the people that I am familiar with who write like amazing poetry, not to say that Emily Dickinson did not, but are people that are on Instagram. That's kind of where I was introduced to like this community of poets. And there's a handful of people on there that like, just when I come across their words, like it's like what you said, it just hits me, like, and their words are just really powerful, and the way that they write really resonated with me. And I think that those people I definitely take a lot of inspiration from. Like, they a lot of them put a lot of raw vulnerability into their pieces, and I feel like that's the most emotive writing, is the stuff that's real and relatable. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think as writers, we kind of anticipate that form of question, like, which writer do you admire? Which writer is your style molded
Hmm.
after? And then we almost expect, or we are expected to provide some well-known author or one of the great,
Hmm.
but it doesn't have to be. It like you're saying, it can be this grassroots organic community that you meet on social media. And I think I love social media for that reason. And some of the most genius writing minds can be found amongst those people. So I
Absolutely.
love that, and I love your answer. And if you have any specific individuals that you would want me to highlight after the fact in the blog that I'll write around this, let me know and I can link them out to what I write for
Yeah,
you.
I can give you some names.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, and then the last question, I always finish my interviews with this. So finish this sentence. You know you're a writer when.
You know you're a writer when I would love to give you a different answer than that one time that you've asked me this question.
You can get the same one.
But you know you're a writer when when it's still my answer though, when everything inspires you and you just want to write it down. Like I'll be walking on the street, like I love eavesdropping on people for this reason. Like I'll be sitting somewhere and I'm just waiting. Like I'm just waiting like a cat in the grass, like for somebody to say something. This one time this woman was walking by, she was on the phone and she said, I don't want anything to change. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, got it. Like and I went off, like it just struck me and I just took it and made it my own. And people don't realize, like, inspiration is all around us. And like, I don't know, for me, writing is the way that it comes through for me. So, yeah.
Love that. I'm sure your notes app on your phone looks out of context, batshit crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah.
I write quotes I overhear from people. Hold on, I'll read you one I got, the most recent one. It cracked me up. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, here you go. Quotes by strangers. You're a great tour manager, but you're a terrible friend.
It's amazing.
This lady was saying it directly to that person.
Oh my God.
Okay.
People don't realize like what they're saying sometimes.
It's in my phone forever now.
And you never know who's listening. Yeah.
That's the scarier part. Well, thank you so much, Liza. It's so great to talk to you again. For those listening, we recorded an interview together and then I messed up, so we have to do it again. But I am grateful for it because I got to speak to you again. I got to learn some more things about how you operate as a writer and as a poet. I look forward to following you in your career. And I'm just really grateful for this time together. So thank you. And if there's anything you want to close out with, go for it.
The Sober Poet is available on Amazon, as you have already mentioned, and it is I am available for speaking engagements as of right now. And you can contact me through my website, which is just my name, lizarowe.com.
Yep. Awesome. Well, and I will link that out too, in all the content this becomes. So thank you again, Liza, and I hope you enjoy this wonderful month of poetry. And I hope you feel celebrated because you deserve to be. So with that, this is Candid Convos with Authors. I'm Jeanette. This is Liza, and thank you for watching.